in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domina. Coming up,
there will be a demonstration very soon. That I can assure you, 100%. These are the conditions. We demand that, one, the government doesn't lease the factory to any entity.
Commander residents to demonstrate against proposed leasing of sugar factory to Indian firm. Also coming up, minority in parliament vows to halt reclassification of Achimota Forest, warning of risk to residents in the capital, Accra.
We must bring pressure to bear on His Excellency the President to reverse that EI.
Still in the bulletin, 34 individuals in Ayawaso West summoned over failure to maintain clean environment.
The next time they will not get involved, rather sit and then be ready to accept the sermon. So indeed we have summoned 34 people.
And later, allied health professionals at Kolebu Teaching Hospital withdraw OPD services to patients today as they build up to a full-blown strike. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. Please stay with us. Now the bulletin is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com, on YouTube and on Facebook. You can find us on Citi 97.3 FM. Across the country, we are live on a number of affiliates. If you're in the Western region, this is Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, this is Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi. Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM in Taji. In Northern Region, Radio Bimbala 91.9 FM. If you're in the Upper East Region, this is Tanga 93.7 FM in Bolga. And in the Upper West Region, this is Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM. Stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We are grateful for your company. This afternoon, residents of Komenda in the Central Region are resisting attempts by the government to lease out the Komenda Sugar Factory to Indian-based firm West Africa Agro Limited for a renewable term of 15 to 20 years. So, Trade and Industry Minister Katie Hammond, during a tour of the facility, indicated that although the factory remains 100% state-owned, the government is still considering leasing its assets to the Indian firm to maximize benefits as the factory undergoes a test run in preparation for full operation. We'll hear from the residents soon, but we have been joined on the phone by Yusuf Suleiman. He serves as a deputy ranking member on the Trades and Industry Committee. He's also the minority spokesperson on matters of trade, and he joins us for more on this. Good afternoon, Honorable. Thank you for your time. Is Parliament aware of this contemplation by the government to lease the Komenda Sugar Factory?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to our cherished listeners. You have right there. You have asked the appropriate question. The government is doing this at the black side of Parliament. Parliament is not aware of this agreement between the Ministry of Trade using the Komenda Sugar Factory Company Limited and Watco. Going into this agreement, Parliament is not aware. What I have seen somewhere is that the ministry has gone into a contractual agreement with Watco for them to provide management services, and the proposal is that they're going to pay them $50,000 per month, and this does not even include consultancy and other foreign expatriates that they will be employing. This is just for the services that they will provide. and for local staffing. If they were to bring in foreigners, the foreigners will be paid differently. And the agreement as cited is that this is going to take, it's a 10-year contract. We are hearing a different thing from the minister talking about the government's intention to lease it out, and he's making reference to 15 years.
15 to 20 years.
15 to 20 years, yes. I think clearly the minister needs to come and answer questions. Unfortunately, we are on recess, but I'm preparing to release a statement and to demand a response from him. Clearly, you and I will agree that the essence or the objective of Commander Sugar Factory hasn't been met. The erstwhile NDC administration, under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama, brought it up in order that we are able to create jobs, direct jobs and indirect jobs. And in so doing, the approach was to ensure that the people around the Commander area who are interested in farming go into the cultivation of sugarcane. And this sugarcane will be offtake by the company in order that they are able to process sugar. That has failed. Direct employment where people would have been engaged at the factory, that also couldn't come up since 2017 when this government took over the reins of this country. Clearly, we're also to ensure that we brought about the importation of, reduced the importation of sugar. And then again, also strengthen the Ghana city. All these things have not been met. 7 to 8 years down the line, we are told that they are likely to lease out the factory for a period of between 15 to 20 years.
Right.
That tells you that the issues we raised earlier on, that it was a deliberate attempt by this government to allow the facility to get rotten and so they can sell it to their cronies is what we are seeing today.
So, Honorable, clearly you don't think or consider this as a fair deal, but if the minority is suggesting the leasing out of the sugar factory, what would you recommend and under what terms?
Yeah, so the NDC had put in place a structure. We had registered this we had registered a company under the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and that company was supposed to manage this facility. And we believe that they will manage it at a lesser cost. They will manage it and then ensure that we are able to employ the number of people that we wanted to employ. Don't forget that one of the major reasons, like I stated earlier on, is for us to be able to employ our people. Now we are giving it to Indians to manage. And if you look at the agreement I have cited, and I'm ready to share it with you, most of the people who will be working at the place will be expatriates and they will be Indians. Is that what we want to do to ourselves at this point?
Very well. Thank you so much. So we await that statement you're going to release and the calls for investigation or holding the minister to Parliament to answer the questions. That's Yusuf Sulemana. He's Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy and he's a minority spokesperson on matters of trade, also a deputy ranking member on the Trade and Industry Committee of Parliament. Well, residents of Commander have also been reacting to this and they disagree with the decision or any contemplation to lease the Commander Sugar Factory. Convener for the concerned residents of Commander Samuel Awujra told City News that they intend to embark on a demonstration against the leasing plan.
In 2021, we planned on demonstrating. That was when the government came and started working on the factory. They put a lot of things in place. As I'm speaking to you, at exactly 2 p.m., I'll be meeting the leadership and then we see the way forward. But I can give you a hint. There will be a demonstration very soon. That I can assure you 100% as I'm speaking to you. These are the conditions. We demand that, one, the government doesn't lease the factory to any entity. The factory is 100% owned by government of Ghana. We don't want the factory to be leased to any factory. Two, we want the factory to be reverted back to the production of sugar through sugarcane and not just importing raw sugar from India and Brazil and refining it to white sugar. That process only takes about 20% of the whole production. So it means that we have cut over 10,000 farmers out of the whole value chain, which is going to cause serious problems. So These are our demands. They don't give it to any entity until they revert the factory back to the old system of crushing sugarcane to produce sugar.
That's Samuel Awujira. He's convener for the concerned residents of Komenda. Let's move away from the story now. And the ranking member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee of Parliament, Alhassan Suhini, has stated that members of the minority caucus will do everything within their capacity to stop the reclassification of the Achimota forest. This follows calls by several civil society organizations to halt the Executive Instrument 144 and Legislative Instrument 2462, which declassify the Achimota forest and other reserves across the country. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, Alhassan Suhini argued that allowing development in the Achimota forest is not in the best interest of Ghanaians, especially those living in the capital, Accra.
The president, unfortunately, has never, since he issued that executive instrument, even explained his reason for issuing the executive instrument. He has treated all these concerns that have been raised with disdain and has simply gone ahead, I'm sure, through his minister to engage with people who claim they have interest in that land. We must bring pressure to bear on His Excellency the President to reverse that EI. The consolation I have is that we are approaching elections, and I pray that even if all these interventions that we are making do not convince the president to reverse the EI, he will soon be out of office, and I'm very convinced that the next government will not allow that EI to stand.
Alhassan Suhini further criticized the government for investing over 400 million cedis in afforestation projects in addition to the annual Green Ghana Day initiatives deeming it a waste.
If you look at what this government has been spending on national afforestation, in fact, the last time I checked, from 2018 to 2021, in 3 years, the government had allocated over 423 million Ghana cedis to national afforestation programs. And that is aside of how much we commit every year to the Green Ghana initiative. And yet, we cannot boast of same acreage of forest that has been created in the last couple of years. It breaks my heart, and I think that everything that we all can do to stop this, we must.
Ranking member on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee of Parliament, Alhassan Suhini. Now let's do some stories on health. And the Kolebu Teaching Hospital chapter of the Allied Health Professionals has commenced the withdrawal of outpatient services due to the hospital's failure to appoint an independent body to oversee its operations. These professionals, currently managed by the hospital's medical directorate, argue that the affairs are not being managed properly and are advocating for the establishment of a dedicated directorate. Despite the Ministry of Health request for additional time to address their demands, the professionals have rejected this plea. Now, in an interview with City News, the local chairman of the chapter, Dr. Francis Kwachientry, stated that they are only attending to inpatient and emergency services. He expressed hope that the ministry will address their concerns before the nationwide strike scheduled for Tuesday, August 6.
So today, if you come to Kolebu and you are an outpatient coming to receive services from the Allied Health Professions, unfortunately, you will not get our services. But we are attending to inpatient and emergency services. So for the Allied Health, our services are varied. They are vast and varied. Medical laboratory services, radiography services, physiotherapy, optometry, dietitians, mental health, health promotion, and even the records and information persons who will key your information in to be able to get access into the consulting rooms. They are all part of our members. And so for now, inpatient services, emergencies are being attended to. And we are pleading that the powers that be coming so that it doesn't escalate to next week when we withdraw our emergency services altogether.
That was the president of the chairman of the Kolebu chapter of the Allied Health Professionals, Dr. Francis Kwachi Entry. This is a Citi Prime News. Still ahead in the bulletin, 34 individuals in Ayawaso West summoned over failure to maintain clean environment. We'll tell you more details shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Imagine a one-stop shopping experience for all things made in Ghana, and this is Ghana Exhibition 2024. Get ready to explore the remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This is Ghana Exhibition 2024. Now, Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM invites you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies that Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, we shall support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. The date, 31st of August and the 1st of September 2024. The time is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. And the venue is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. This is Ghana Exhibition 2024 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, Kua Natural, Ghana National Gas Company, Ghana Pay Mobile Money, People Beverages, Exim Bank, and Petroleum Commission Ghana.
The grand finale of the Literacy Challenge 2024 is here. Congratulations to our top 10 finalists. But the big question is, who out of our top 10 wins the ultimate prize of 10,000 Ghana cities, the Glitzy Trophy, and the bragging rights as the Literacy Challenge winner for 2024? Support your favorite student, support your school, and let's promote literacy in Ghana. Tune in live to Channel 1 TV for the grand finale on Saturday, 17th August 2024 at 12 noon. Call 0205-973-973 for more details. The Literacy Challenge 2024 is powered by Citi FM, supported by Channel 1 TV, and is sponsored by Ghana National Gas Company, Alive Soap. Feel fresh, feel alive. From the House of Wilma Africa Limited. Fortune spread for bread. Yummy, delicious, always on point. Another quality product from Wilma Africa Limited. Ribby Biscuits by M4 Foods and Prospectus Ghana Limited. Your one-stop shop for all school items.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, 34 individuals in the Ayawaso West Municipality of the Greater Accra region have been served with summons due to their failure to maintain clean environment and participate in the Ga Homo cleanup exercise. Now, this initiative led by the Ga Traditional Council under the leadership of the Gamanche King Takite Kochru II aims to prepare for this year's Homo celebration, a significant event for the Ga people. Now, to ensure a successful cleanup exercise, shops, banks, food joints, and other establishments were closed on Friday. In an interaction with journalists, the municipal chief executive for Ayawaso West Assembly, Sandra Hinkra, stated that those who fail to comply with the cleanup efforts will face sanctions.
Before we step out to even start the day's exercise, you see them working on their own. Except the major drains and gutters, we had to bring people on board to clean. But they did very well. In fact, I'm impressed and I'm very happy. As you can see, we had to really let all the hawkers stop for some minutes, clean, and then they can continue. So that is what we have done so far. Okay, so since yesterday, we have 734 people. In fact, we want all shops and businesses closed. That is the law. That is what we were asked to tell them. So we told them, so it will not be fair for someone to close the shop, get involved, and you will be opened, and then activities will be ongoing. So indeed, we summoned them. And they did not fight back. They understood us. In fact, after the sermon, they closed it and they joined us. But still, we'll send them to court because that is a rule we should not joke about. Once you really get involved and, oh, it's okay, you joined us. No, that is when they take advantage. The next time, they will not get involved, rather sit and then be ready to accept the sermon. So indeed, we have summoned 34 people.
You heard the Municipal Chief Executive for Ayawaso West Assembly, Sandra Ahinkra. Let's move away from the capital a bit to the Ashanti region. And the Assembly member for Kwaraso electoral area has assured that the Municipal Assembly will implement measures to assist traders who lost their shops and goods in the recent Kwaraso market fire. In the early hours of yesterday, a devastating fire swept through the Kwaraso market, destroying over 40 shops and their contents. In an interview with Citi News, Assembly member Ernest Frimpong acknowledged that obstructions along the entrance of the market and the access road to the fire scene caused delays in the fire services response. Now, he notes that he had previously visited the market to address these issues and expressed regret that the market women did not adhere to the warnings.
Last week, I came here with my unit committee chairman to talk to some of the women who have done the blockage on the way. But unfortunately for us, we thought they have done it. But not knowing that some of them are still blocking the main route, causing this issue today. So I think there is a situation whereby we need to deal with it once and for all, so that this place could be accessible to everybody.
So moving forward, what are plans on board?
I think the Municipal Chief Executive was here around 3-4 when the situation started. So we will go and sit down with the Chief Executive and the Assembly to come and look what we can do for our mothers. This is a very bad situation for us. And as an Assembly member and as a presiding member for the Municipal Assembly, we need to sit down with our mothers so that we can all see the good thing that we can do for them. So we are going to sit down with them and find a solution to this problem that has happened.
Ernest Frimpong is the Assembly member for Kwaraso electoral area in the Ashanti region. And now in the Eastern region, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture there is advocating for compensation for farmers affected by the dengue fever outbreak. On July 17th, the Ghana Health Service reported 36 confirmed cases in the Eastern and Central regions impacting farmers in the Brim Central, Brim North, Achimansa, Brim South and Achiase district. The ministry believes that distributing farming inputs and grants to these affected farmers will significantly help them recover and contribute to food security in the region and the country as a whole. The Eastern Regional Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Hajia Habiba Yusufu, made this call on the sidelines of the launch of the 2024 fourth edition of the Eastern Commodities Satellite Market Fair in Koforidua.
Yes, the issue of dengue fever affects all of us and not only the farmers who are there. Certainly the farmer has bought inputs, or if even it's a grant, you start your production, at the end of the day you fall sick. What happens? What you have done now is left into the bush. So at the end of the day, how will you even take care of yourself? So when there is an health issue, certainly it affects food security. So what we are telling our farmers is that we should all be wary of all this, and then we should also take the precautions that are given to us so that we don't fall victim to some of these health issues. The government is doing well, even for those who suffered during the spillover. They've been given inputs free of charge for them as compensation for them to grow. So for such people who had issues, even during the COVID time, later inputs were given to our farmers free of charge for them to planned. So for those who have suffered the dengue fever, I think the minister is such a person. When it comes out that people have suffered unduly and because of the health issue, they will be giving grants in terms of inputs for them to grow again and get food and then sustain the food security that we have.
You have the Eastern Regional Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Hajia Habiba Yusufu. Now, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana is urging the government to provide tax incentives to support the private health sector nationwide. The association argues that private health stakeholders are struggling with overwhelming utility bills and taxes, highlighting the need for the government intervention. In his address at the 43rd Annual General Meeting of the Society of Private Medical and Dental Practitioners themed Health Sector Brain Drain to Brain Gain, the role of private practitioners, Samuel Kodonko, the president of the Ghana Pharmaceutical Society, emphasized the government to review the private sector not merely as a commercial entity but as a crucial service provider.
The government needs to support the private sector in a different way because we pay for our staff, we pay our own utilities, we pay for our space. And let no one also assume that the private sector did not play much role in this country. In terms of healthcare delivery, we are at the forefront, both medically and also when it comes to pharmaceutically. But the issue at stake is that we are treated as commerce. They do not see us as being providing a service. And we keep asking the question, why should private healthcare, when you set up a private hospital or clinic, be paying the same corporate tax as somebody who is selling Atabosokai, selling spare parts? These are issues we need to look at, that we are not just for commerce, we are not just for business. We need to be seen as serving the people, providing healthcare service. And therefore, when the giving comes to corporate taxes, something must be done for all of us who are in the private sector, rendering service for this country. If there's a possibility that we can all work together and now make an advocacy that our case is different from those who work in the public sector, and therefore government should pay particular attention.
President of the Ghana Pharmaceutical Society, Samuel Kodonko, meanwhile, Perpetual Fosu Ampofo, the Ofori Ampofo, the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, described the clearance of the Finance Ministry to employ approximately 15,200 nurses as inadequate.
We have recently seen the announcement of the Ministry of Health, for example, in terms of the financial clearance to employ nurses. We are excited and we are happy about it. But of course, it will still not mitigate the employment needs of the nurses and midwives within the health sector. And as much as many of them have left, they've caused serious gaps within the health system. It's a source of worry. We must be able to recruit as and when needed so that we meet the needs of the general population.
You have the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetual Ofori Ampofo. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Kufudampare, has urged the public to exercise caution when sharing information and to actively help fight false information. With the December 2024 election approaching, the IGP stressed the importance of safeguarding Ghana's democratic values from the threat posed by misinformation. He spoke at the Ghana Report Summit in Accra.
We have a responsibility, if we have been successful in making the information spread when it is disinformation and misinformation, by just testing it around. Then when it becomes known and we are debunking it, let us use the same force or double of that we used to be sharing. Now that we are no more going to do, we should rather spend that energy fighting and debunking disinformation and misinformation. Because in a society that good people fail to act, bad people act for you, and the consequences are shared by all. Now, looking at all this, let's probably look for 2 minutes on the issue of institutional responsibilities. First, institutions that has responsibility to share information to the public for us to consume in order to be informed need to be proactive.
Inspector General of Police Dr. George Ekufu Dampare. Now, the government has settled with the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAC, regarding their conditions of service effectively ending their strike. CTAC had begun the strike on June 14 in response to the government's failure to implement an arbitral award from the National Labour Commission. Now, despite a directive from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, the teachers had refused to return to work until an arbitral award was honored. Now, in a recent media interview, Minister of Employment and Labour Relations Ignatius Bafo-Ewua confirmed that negotiations have been concluded. And that's our wrap for you for today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. For more stories, please log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domina. Thank you for your company. Good afternoon.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.